Hi folks. In order to create a bibliography, you need to keep track of each source that you use for your research project. And I've created this fabulous form here for you to collect information about each of your sources. There's 4 different boxes, 2 on each side, so you can collect information for 4 sources on each sheet. First thing you want to do when you're starting out is make sure that you put your name on your document, because you don't want to lose this. And I'm writing with my fingertips, so sorry it's a little messy. All right. Today we're going to collect information from an article that I got from InfoTrack. And here's, let's see if I can pull it up. I can't pull it up with my pencil. Okay, here it is. All right, so I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to pull this down so I can show you how to write. All right, the first thing you got to do is record what type of source you're using. So there's a number of different resources that you could use. It could be a book, an encyclopedia article, a periodical, meaning a magazine or a newspaper. It could be a website, or it could be a database article. And actually, it could be a number of other things. If you don't see what type of source you're citing on here, come on down and I can help you figure out what information you need to collect for it. All right, so we are using a database article, so I'm going to check that off. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to look for the author or editor. And often when you're on a website or even many database articles, it's hard to find an author, or the author isn't always posted. So let's just take a look, and as I read through my article here, I don't see an author anywhere. I see a title, I see the title of the resource, but I don't see an author. So I'm just going to leave the author box blank today. All right, next thing I'm looking for is the title of the resource. So the title of this resource, I'm looking down here, is Current Events, okay, a weekly reader publication. The title of your resource is not necessarily the title of the database that you're using. So you always want to make sure that you look carefully at where the article comes from. So this one, I'm going to fill in, the title of this resource is called Current Events. Remember that databases are just collections of information. Often that information comes from other sources. All right, next thing we want to look at is the article title, which is right here, and it's The Lost Boys of Sudan. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write that in. Okay. Sorry again about my writing. All right, now I'm looking for the place of publication, but I'm noticing that I only need that for books and encyclopedias, so we can skip that. Now we're going to go down to publisher. And actually, if it's a website, not a database, you would look for the website publisher. But in this case, you're looking for the publisher, the original publisher of this article. And I'm noticing that that is Weekly Reader Corporation down there. So I'm going to go ahead and write that here. Okay. And let's see, what do I need next? Next, I'm looking for the publication or issue date, and that is listed nicely right here for me, September 24th, 2007. All right, so I'll just abbreviate that. What was it? September 24th, 07. And I do actually have an issue listed, or actually a volume, and it is, actually I have an issue and a volume. I have volume 107 and issue 3. You can just see it right down here. Let me show you right here. You're not normally going to have a volume and issue, but that's where you'll find it if you do. So let's put that. The volume is 107, and the issue is 3. Okay. Actually, I could have written that over here. 3/107. All right. Now let me just pull this down a little bit so we can get back into our space. All right. Next thing you need is the database name. So the database name of this one is InfoTrack. Okay, so let's write that in. And the database publisher, which is this database. You could find it at the bottom of the page, but I don't have it here. But you can see it's the Gale Group. So let's type in, or I'm sorry, write in Gale Group. All right, and the last thing you need, the final step for a database article, is the date accessed. And the date accessed is always the date that you got the information off the web. So we'll say that that is today's date, which is 1/22/13. Okay? So I guess the important thing to think about when you're keeping track of your sources is that when you're evaluating any resource, you really have to be finding out where it came from, when it was published, who published it, to make sure it's a good resource. So you should be looking for this information anyway before you choose an article. It takes a little bit of practice to figure out what you need and for which type of sources. And again, we're just beginning this process in upper elementary school. So do your best to collect as much as you can. And as always, if you have questions about it, feel free to come down to the library anytime, and I'm happy to help you with it. Good luck.